The news. Now, just before we get to the news, Central Goldfields Shire has announced one of the biggest capital works program in their history. Apparently it's worth over $10 million. On the list is a new skate park in Maryborough, the outdoor swimming pools to be restored, and the Recreation and Leisure Centre in Maryborough will be upgraded. Along with that, Carisbrook and Talbot Town Halls will be repaired, and the levy for Carisbrook. It's quite a big turnaround for the Shire. If you think back just a couple of years ago, councillors were sacked. The CEO was convicted over misuse of a credit card. The new CEO is Lucy Roffey and is with us this morning. Lucy Roffey, good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well. This is a big spending plan you've got.
Look, yes, it is, and it is supported substantially by both state and federal government grants. And the reason we've been able to put forward substantial capital works program is because we've worked very hard over the last 12 months to ensure that we're getting our fair share of those grants.
Okay. Is there a hit on ratepayers with this money as well? No, I can't imagine all of it's coming from grants.
No, exactly. So 50% is coming from grants. With the for ratepayers, the increase in rates is 2.5%, and that's in line with the state government's rate cap. So we haven't applied for any variation in the rate cap. We're just trying to keep within that and continue to deliver our services as efficiently as we can.
Okay, so how do you fund your half?
Well, our half does come from rates, and so the amount that we're contributing from rates is probably similar to previous years, but as I said, it's more about the success that we've had in getting grants. So we've made a number of applications and identified a number of assets that require upgrading, and we've just continued to push really hard to get the grants that the Shire deserves.
So out of these projects, which is the biggest single project?
Look, the road projects are fairly large. So we've got $2.74 million in roads funded through the Regional Roads Victoria, and there are a number of different projects there. Some of them have been delivered over stages. So the Avoca Road Talbot Renewal Upgrade is stage 2 of a 3-stage program, and Majorca Road Renewal and Upgrade is stage 3 of a 3-stage. That should be the end of the Majorca Road Upgrade. So there are a number of projects we've been working on for a number of years in the roads, and there's been a substantial increase in funding to Regional Roads Victoria, and we're hoping to share in that funding. Okay.
I know the levy at Carisbrook has been talked about a lot over the last few years. So how long is it planned before that is installed?
So we're hoping that that's going to be in that financial year. The biggest hurdle we've had with the levy is to undertake some private land acquisitions. The levy actually has to go onto some private land, and that's a long and difficult process. There was an advisory group that was put together last year in Carisbrook who have been helping with things like some of the creek clearing projects, and then also helping council with looking at the Carisbrook levy work specifically. So they had been designed, they've been reviewed again, and as I said, the main obstacle is the private land purchases, and we're hoping to proceed with that in the next sort of 6 months.
Okay. Well, what's been the public reaction as the news of these projects has filtered out, Lucy?
Look, most of the projects, a lot of the projects have come about from the administrators being out in the community at listening posts during the year, and particularly things like the skate park. There was a petition last year with young people saying that they really needed the skate park either upgraded or replaced. There's new pathways, footpaths in some of the smaller towns, Carisbrook, Denali and Bialaba, and that's come about from the administrators just listening to people about not getting enough investment in those smaller towns. And similarly with the community buildings in Carisbrook and Talbot Town Halls, all come from the listening post. And one of the other projects that I'm particularly pleased about is we did receive funding from the federal government for community planning across 8 towns in the Shire. And that's really important because when the administrators are out talking to the community, that's the thing that is lacking. There is not, a comprehensive plan for each town that says what is really important to that town. So we've had lots of positive feedback that we are finally able to proceed with community planning. So we're looking forward to doing that next year as well.
Lucy, just on another matter, can I just ask you, the head of the Ratepayers Association last week was quite critical of the change in the rating strategy that apparently sees 90% of people probably paying less, but some outside of Maryborough paying more. Well, in general, what's your response to those concerns as they were outlined by the Ratepayers Association?
Yeah, so the rating strategy hadn't been reviewed for a number of years, and it needs to be looked at every 2 years. And in the current rating strategy, there are different rates for residents of Maryborough compared to residents of smaller towns. And by reviewing that rating strategy, what we looked at is the valuations, the property valuations effectively takes that into account. So when you are purchasing a property in a smaller town, you would usually pay less than you would for a property in a larger town. And again, you would find that property prices in Ballarat are higher than those in Maryborough for the same reason. The reason being that you're closer to services, etc. So the discount in those rating differentials for the smaller towns didn't make a lot of sense. And so they were reviewed. The other thing that we looked at was the municipal charge. So the municipal charge is the flat rate that most councils pay. And the state government is looking to change that in the new legislation and bring it down to 10%, and ours is currently 17% of rates. And it's a regressive charge. So people who have lower value properties, it actually impacts them more than people on higher value properties. So it's seen as a charge that often disadvantages people who have lower capacity to pay. So the rating strategy also looked to bring that down. So both of those changes would be introduced over a number of years to limit the impact. And of course, you have annual valuations in the meantime, which can, move things up and down and between different property values. So the impact on an individual property owner, we've had a look across sort of the different ranges of properties, and it's sort of in the range of about $50 to $100 for some of the properties that will be going up, and for others there may be sort of, small amounts going down. So depending on your property value and the differential that you're on, there's a whole range of different outcomes, but the majority of them are not particularly large in this financial year.
I'm going to have to leave it there, but thank you for your time. Lucy Roffey is the Chief Executive of the Central Goldfields Shire. It is 9 o'clock. It's time for news.